Our next door neighbor, Sox Engelrock, came down and woke us up and told us that the levee had broken. And my grandfather says, well, the water will never get out here. It didn't get out here in 32. It didn't get out here any other time, so we're not moving. Well, then about another 15 minutes later, Sox came back down to the house. They were evacuating, and they told my grandfather, you better get out, Gordon, or you're going to be sorry. We started down Hutchison, and we ended up with Gertrude Haynes, Norma Bartlett, and her husband, Robert Bartlett, which was in another car behind us. I think my grandmother's driving scared me more than anything. They had just bought a brand new 55 Dodge, floorboarded to probably 120 miles an hour, because she was trying to outrun the water. When we tried to go up the road there to the Sutter bypass, the gates were all locked, so we had no way to get up on the bypass. So all 4 cars backed down, and we started down Township, and we got, it was before Bogue Road, and when the water hit us, and it picked our car up and slammed us up against a telephone post.
And we got about a mile above the Berry substation, and the road was just perfectly dry, and all of a sudden this wall of water about 4 feet high hit me and drowned the car out. And I realized immediately that I had to get out of the car, because I had my little boy that was 2 years old, and he was sitting in the seat, and the water was almost over his head at that time. And I jumped out, and somehow, I don't know how I got on top of the car, but I got him and got on top of the car.
She says, Gordon, get out of the, roll the window down and get out of the car. And he says, well, why? And she says, because I'm sitting in water. So he got up on the top of the car, then he helped her, and then I came up into the front seat, and he helped me up on top of the car. The car was completely submerged. My grandfather set up more on the higher part of the car and put his feet down on the, he sat on the roof and put his feet down on the hood. I held on to the telephone post, and so did my grandmother, because he was holding on to the window. And of course, every time there'd be something floating toward us, we'd have, we'd get hit by it, and luckily we were both able to hold on. I mean, it was either that or we knew we'd drowned. We had nowhere else to go. So there was a couple times I sat down, and when I did, the water went up over the top of my head. So most of it was standing, both of us, because she's not much taller than I was. And we could hear Gertrude Haynes behind us. She had a flashlight and yelled to make sure that we were okay, and she yelled at her daughter behind her, which was Norma Bartlett. And I would say by this time it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just kind of guessing the times. And approximately a couple hours after we were there, we heard Norma start screaming that Bob had drowned.
I heard Bob holler, and I said, don't come to me because you can't get through. The water's too swift. Well, by the time I got the baby wrapped in a blanket, the water was almost to the top of the car, and I realized that it was going to go over the top of the car, and I had to do something to stay on top. So I reached down and opened the little wing window and put my foot in there and braced my foot so that I would at least have some chance of staying on top of the car. And then I looked around to see what had happened to the rest of the family behind me. In the lights of the car that Bob was driving, the car had drifted around so that the lights were on him, and the water was to his neck then. And he was hollering, but the water was so swift that you couldn't hear, and I kept hollering, "Don't waste your strength because I can't hear you." Well, about that time, the water went over the lights of the car, and that was the last time I saw him.
And Bob had tried to swim to her, and the current was so strong that it took him under, and he actually floated up between Gertrude's car and our car. Of course, and by that time the moon was really bright. It was unbelievable that the sky had cleared up. It was, I'm guessing, after lunch. I'm guessing between 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon was when we saw the helicopter.